I literally just got done with the other video, cause for a second I was just gonna watch that video and upload it, but then I thought, you know what, I might as well make the second video. In this video, I want to talk about, how what the first video I was talking about with the losing the protective nature I have for certain people. Well, not losing it, but understanding that it doesn't need to be there for now. How that has affected, what I've been thinking now. And the biggest thing, how in that one I reference, the line of "let me need you." And I was talking to bro also about, how I rely so much on myself, and I can help other people, but I don't really rely on other people to help me. And I was thinking, that's something I have to start learning to do again, because when I was younger, I spent so much time, relying on other people, for happiness and self-worth and all that good jazz. And like I said, up until my last relationship, I was still that person, but didn't realize I was still that person. So like in my acceptance video, I believe, when I said that after breaking up with her, like I had to rebuild my whole identity. In that, I realized, well, I guess not really realized, but in that I started, focusing on myself so much that I wasn't too worried about other people. And then up until up until I graduated, mostly, I was still the person that felt like, that still felt like he had some people to protect, per se. But, it's like now, I'm not really that worried about other people, Like I said in my other video, I still give advice and stuff, but it's not on the level like I personally care as much, depending on the person. I say right now there's probably like a couple of people whose advice I give is like personal, I actually want to see, well, I know I'm gonna be there to see the results, so I want it to be good. For most people, dang, I'm sweating. But for most people, it's like, I don't even know if you're gonna follow this advice, so, I'm gonna just give you what I think you should do and take it with a grain of salt, I guess. This video lost its direction so quick. But what I was leading up to was that I realized that, right now probably not so much, but I realized that I gotta start, not gonna say relying on other people, but understanding that other people can help. Because I guess part of the reason why I don't like talking to a lot of people is because I don't really feel like I'm gonna get what I want. And I have to realize that, depending on the person, just because it's not something you personally would agree with doesn't mean it's not beneficial. It gives you a different mind, a different viewpoint to look at. And there's nobody I really know that I would have these kind of conversations with like new people in a way that I don't talk to normally. Or I'm just now getting back to the point where I can talk to people I may not talk to that often, albeit it's like Instagram and Facebook. But in person, eventually I'll feel the need to start talking to other people if I want to. But I have to get, part of me is, when it comes to conversations, is that I want to have something beneficial. I don't want to just bland, hey, how you doing, what you doing, and all that conversation. I want, I feel this on this. But I'm gotta realize, we have to have these boring conversations to get to these deeper conversations, because they're not just gonna, I may find somebody that I just click with like that and have the conversations with, but for now, probably not so much. So in that, also realizing that, I can't handle all my situations on my own. Like, I forget, I think it was my video about relationships when I was talking about relationship with God, how, I understand his greatness and that he's there and that he's helped me, but I tend to try to rely on myself for the things that I feel like I can handle. And even though I would say, God will handle the rest, usually tend to try to find a solution for problems I have on my own. And the problem with that is that sometimes, I can give great advice to other people, but when I give myself the same advice, um, nah, whatever, man. And that's kind of a problem because, when you mostly rely on yourself, everything you think or feel is very important. And I have to realize, I may not have a bunch of friends that I can just talk to my problems or talk to about my problems that I may have, no matter how trivial they are. But God is always there and he knows already. And I guess the thing that I have is like, I guess I try not to rely on God as much as I probably should be relying on him. You know, why? I guess it's not like how it was when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I didn't really feel like I was that worthy of relying on him. For some reason, my bro had to constantly tell me, "Look, man, you're worthy. You're not a bad person. You have to understand that." And like now, I understand I'm not a bad person, and I don't feel like I'm not worthy. I guess it's just, I don't know. Like a couple months ago, I used to rely a lot on him. Like I would work out and then meditate, talk to him about things that I'm thinking. It was mostly positive at the time because it's like, I feel good after working out. I just figure out, talk about some things that's been on my mind, and I know you're here to listen. Now it's like, I guess I don't really feel the need to do that, and I have to get back to that. I think it's because I spent so much time building myself up, relying on myself, that part of understanding your self-worth is probably thinking, well, at least for me, is thinking that I'm using my hands a lot. It's thinking that, you don't necessarily need to rely on other people for situations you could probably handle if you just put your best foot forward and do something about it. And I have to realize, I don't always have the answers. And there's plenty of times where the answer feels like it's just right there, but there's something missing. And I think what's missing is I'm not talking to the right person about it, And that right person is most likely God. I have to talk to him. Because my brother is a good advocate for this because, he has problems. And, he talked to me about the problems. I try to help him. And then he prays. And, he gives it all to God. And that's when he starts showing a more positive attitude. And my brother is always an example for me of the positivity in things that I would usually think negative about. Not necessarily praying, but like when it comes to relationships, like he always helps people and continues to help people, whereas I've built up the resistance to help people continuously when I feel like they're just screwing me over. He continues, and it usually works out for him. But for me, I haven't found my example of why I would need to continue. Even though sometimes I do think, what if I would have continued with this person? Would we be good friends now? And he's always been one of the people, that gets me back into religion. Because I guess the type of person I am, I don't really try to be that religious. Like, I saw this post that says I believe in a higher being, but I think something about not wanting to be labeled by religion and not wanting to be restricted by religion or something like that, because they feel like you can learn from all. And I think that's kind of where I am. You know, I do believe in God, but I don't feel like just, I guess, looking at just one religion. Christianity is something I have focused on the most because, you know, my family is a Christian family and we go to church, a Christian church. So you know, I'm studying more of that because that's what I'm exposed to. But I do feel like some other religions you could probably learn from. And I guess I don't, cause I guess that kind of goes with my personality. I don't really feel like being labeled as one specific thing or being put in a box. And I get that from seeing people like Tyler the Creator and Childish Gambino because they do multiple different things and they're benefiting from it, from being who they want to be. And I want to, you know, be like that. I want to be a person that just he can be himself and be happy, and I don't want to be tied to anything specific. You know, I may study martial arts, but I don't think I'm just a martial artist. You know, I think that's where it is. But even in that mindset, I still have to realize that I can, you know, talk to God, and that's one of the relationships I have to keep building back up because it's like it gets to a point and then, you know, I don't know what happens really. It's like it's good and then it's just stagnant, and I have to get back, especially in times like this because I'm still not necessarily sure what I'm gonna do because I need to be looking for a job, and you know I gotta start riding my bike around the neighborhood and stuff, and I keep thinking, you know, I need to figure out where exactly I can ride my bike at because there's not many sidewalks, especially in certain areas. So, you know, I'm thinking of all these things when I need to be talking to somebody that can give me a feeling of reassurance and says, hey, look, you know, all you gotta do is do it. You know, I'll handle the rest. And that person has been so obvious in my life that I guess I don't want to say I tend to avoid it, but I guess I tend to ignore it, kind of. And I have to get back to that. I have to be more open-minded again. I have to stop being so nervous about new interactions, and I have to stop being kind of scared the of my own thoughts because I can think myself into thinking something could go wrong, and I need to stop doing that, you know. And I need to talk to somebody that can help me stop doing that. And said person has been there for so long that I don't know why it's been so hard to do it at times like this where I think so much on my own. So I guess I kind of made this video to kind of go with the video I just made, and I'll be uploading that, and then I'll upload this. But it's also kind of, you know, admitting my mistakes here so that they're out in the open and that I don't have to feel bad about it when I do talk to God about it. I mean, it's not like I feel bad about it, but you know, just saying it here on YouTube, expressing it to the people that'll see it, and expressing it essentially to myself is better than just keeping it all in my head because it's out here now. I've said it, you know. Everybody knows my insecurities now. So with them out in the open to the public, it's I guess I'm more comfortable now or something. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but this honestly went to a different look than I thought it was going to go to, but I think it helped. And it's almost 15 minutes. So anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. You know, tell me how you feel. What are your thoughts about God? How do you feel about what I said? And my viewpoint on life right now. What are some of your insecurities? Thank you. I'm out.